What's up, everyone? It's your girl, Fantastic Frankie, here with a ghost. Someone we haven't seen in
A
forever.
ghost?
A ghost. Someone who has not been watching good
Because you haven't
shit.
been on live in forever.
No, Cap. I go on live every week with Mike, but it's stuff you don't watch.
Oh, sorry.
But
I meant to say
welcome.
you haven't invited me in forever.
I haven't invited you because you don't be watching good shit. But what's up, everyone? Welcome. We are back. We are live. I'm with my good friend, Destructo. Is it Jugo? Hugo?
It's Jugo. It's only the fucking Latinos like you who would assume it's Hugo.
Racism right
Like,
off the back is perfect since we're talking about the
I'm sorry,
boys.
but who the fuck reads it
It,
and says Hugo?
who wouldn't read it and say Hugo? Whatever. What's
It's a
up, everyone?
it's a Japanese
We are
name.
spoiling the boys. You are fresh off the boys. You should be driving this. I watched it 2 hours ago. Um,
Oh,
but
bro.
yes, welcome everyone. Someone's already in my Instagram talking about how right they were about Sister Sage lobotomizing herself. My favorite
Oh
thing
yeah.
about the episode. But let's
Oh yeah.
let's get started. Let's get started. Is Frankie Panamanian? You know why they said Panamanian? Panamanians are almost blacker than Dominicans.
Oh, for real?
Like they look African. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh
Like
yeah, I have seen people from Panama. Yeah, they're dark as
and I
hell.
don't think they have like I've never seen a indigenous or white passing Panamanian. Like it's
Yeah, I
just
don't think
black
so either.
people. It's just black people.
Yeah, it's
But
just
no,
brown
I
folk.
say all that to say I am not Panamanian. I'm Puerto Rican. Which is also a very black country, y'all. Slavery was in Puerto Rico. They was bringing the slaves there first. So the
Yeah,
more you know.
yeah, yeah.
But
You
yeah,
was you was there.
I was in the street. Yo, before we get started, I want to tell y'all a joke, not a joke, but a story from last night. I went to go see The Wiz. Not The Wiz, the listening party for The Wiz is what's that thing called? Their studio
Studio
album
album.
release. So I go out there, I'm having a good time. And I get in the elevator. It's time to go. I'm in the elevator with the guy who plays. His name's Avery. He plays the Scarecrow. His homeboy and like two other men, and me and my friend Vanta Black. So Vanta turns to me and says, "Are you ordering an Uber or are you taking the train?" And I said, "I think I'm going to take the train." And one of the guys turns to me and says, it's dangerous. You shouldn't take the train this late. And I said, that's fine. I'm from the streets. Thunderous laughter, thunderous belly holding laughter in this elevator. And I was like, that was not a joke. That was not a joke. That's crazy. So I was like, I could be from the streets. Like, what? None of y'all from New York. Y'all telling me I'm not from the streets. And they were like crying at this point, and they're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Get that Uber though. Like, we'll get the Uber
Get
for you.
the Uber.
So, moral of the story is, I took the Uber. I hate it. Yeah, it was a cackling
Yeah,
type of it was a guffaw. Have you guys ever heard a
a
guffaw in real
guffaw. It's nuts.
it was a guffaw. Yeah, they don't know I got hands. Thank you, Dan. Dan is on my Instagram. I do indeed have hands. Okay. But it's like,
Are you
that song
are
We
you
Could Go
sure?
Band for Band? It's like that one. It's like classy hands. It's a duel.
What does
We
that mean?
dueling. We
Oh,
dueling.
okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's not
So you
dirty.
typed to duel at dawn.
Yeah, I'm
Sunrise.
a duet dog type nigga. But yeah, I'm sorry.
That
Everybody's here
shit
to talk about
crazy.
the boys. Let's get into it. Um, someone said the legend is Gojo learned hands from Frankie. I agree,
Why are
but
these
we
niggas
won't get into it.
glazing?
Yo, why are you a hater? Maybe
Y'all
this is
knees
why I
hurt?
didn't
Like,
invite you. You're a hater. You're a hater.
I'm
That's fine.
sorry. Your fans be
Let's talk
glazing too
about the
much.
boys. Let's talk about the boys. I want to start off with your initial thoughts. What was your thoughts about the episode?
Oh yeah, thank you for asking. I just finished the episode just a few minutes ago. Um,
Nice.
I'm fantastic. Everybody on Twitter is talking about the Emmy campaign for Anthony Starr after this episode, splendid, absolutely splendid. I'm not even gonna lie, his scenes in that little, in that laboratory area were the best parts about this entire episode. Every time it switched away from his scenes, I low-key was not as engaged or as interested as I was as when it came back to him.
I
I
would have watched a bottle episode of him in that lab.
I was hoping it was. I was on Twitter. I'm hoping it's like what I'm saying, the whole episode is just his mental unraveling and like, but no, it was just a handful of scenes dispersed throughout the episode. Other than that, though, I really did enjoy this episode. I'm starting to have a few issues with The Boys season 4 as a whole, and it's mostly due to feeling some things are a little bit repetitive. So my enjoyment of this season is kind of dampened by the fact that I just feel like everything I see we've seen before. Like, oh,
I
there's
don't
a soup,
know.
oh, they get in trouble, and then they kill him, and there's blood everywhere, and then there we go
Is it
right back to it.
repetitive or is it reiterating? Like, is it the type of is this the type of life we lead that we're doomed to continue to redo our mistakes? Um,
I mean, absolutely.
I
From a narrative standpoint, that makes perfect sense. But
I
as
think
a
what's
viewer,
interesting as a viewer, you find it hard, but maybe you as a viewer are a little too complex. I feel like I feel like the boys is getting to a point where they're spoon feeding us. What I thought was the most interesting about the whole Homelander saga was that he finds out from his mother that even his psyche is manufactured by the people who own him.
that was fascinating.
And to me, I was like, so even the reason why, everybody's like, I love Homelander. He's so complex. And even the complexities that we know was written for him and created for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was like, this show was going out their way to tell you, like, there's nothing about Homelander you should relate to.
Yeah, I absolutely loved that reveal because it goes back to what I've been saying for the longest time, that of what Homelander represents is this idea that like he's not a person, he's not a human, he's not even a soup, he's a product. He is essentially a art, like a tool, an element of capitalism. He's not a person. Everything about him is completely 100% manufactured. And
Yeah.
so framing him as like the big bad villain, a big bad villain, essentially is a really cool way of like being like ultimately the villain is capitalism. Ultimately, the villain is corporations.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the first time I've seen us get information. Well, not the first time, but it's very few that we get information without flashbacks. And they were able to fill in the gaps of like Homelander's experiences, the atrocities that he felt, all of that through dialogue. And I thought that was very interesting. One thing I like about Homelander, and it's something that what's his name? Anthony Starr has done so well is the minute he enters the room, it creates anxiety. You know what I mean?
True.
Everyone is anxious. I'm anxious for everyone there. And immediately I'm like, if any of y'all make it out alive, it's luck, right? You can't
Yeah.
run, you can't do anything. And I felt that like even the security guard, like he has his gun towards the door. And when it's Homelander, he puts it away and walks away. He's like,
He
what
knew
could
it
we?
ain't nothing.
And even though he knows, he sees Homelander, he knows immediately, like, so everyone upstairs is dead,
Mm,
like,
yeah.
but what am I finna do? Do you think you
That's the
would have
thing
ran away
that's
while he was doing whatever, while he was
See,
preoccupied?
that's what I'm saying. I can't even lie to you, knowing the reputation Homelander, because I don't know how much information these scientists have about what Homelander's been up to lately, but knowing the reputation that this nigga has, I'm for sure running. I'm going to die anyways. I'm not going out the way he tells me to go out. I'm gonna go out running, so at the very least, like it looks like
Just
you know
get
what I'm saying?
laser
Because
head.
yeah, he gonna laser me in the back. He gonna hit my, you feel me, and it's over with. I die. The
But
shit.
or
I'm
you
not.
may
But
be
I'm feeling off.
interpreted as soft. You died running.
Here's the thing, though. I would take that over dying holding with my dick in my hand. Like that's dying soft.
His dick was not in his hand, actually. It was obliterated. It was done.
That's nuts,
Uh,
bro.
and this
He
is the
died
thing too.
soft.
this is clearly a nod to like the Nuremberg trials and like Nazis and just doing your
Yeah,
job even knowing it's wrong. Um
yeah,
there's a moment where it's not that I felt like a catharsis for Homelander, but I felt like good for him. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
he's always had the power, and just him being able to get that back. I
yeah,
thought I'm always happy to see that with everyone because everyone who works for Vought, they're not innocent. Even the people who were there who were just pipetting, I
right,
think they know a great deal about Homelander because they're there to
right.
study Homelander. And so none of them are innocent, even the people who are on the entry level, because they know what the type of experiment, and God knows who else they're experimenting on. And like they're probably trying to look for a new Homelander, a better Homelander. So who's to say they're
Yeah,
not still consistently, doing this to children?
that's why I wasn't mad when he killed all those people because Homelander isn't a sympathetic villain in the sense that like I like relate to him or like see him as anything other than a monster, but he is a monster that was created long before he was born. Like everything wrong with him is is Vought's fault. Is directly a
Mm.
result of the people in that room. Every single person in that room is responsible for every person that Homelander's killed, every evil thing that Homelander's ever done, and everything wrong with him mentally and psychologically. Like they even say it outright. And so I wasn't even mad. I was like, get your get back, twin. Get
Get your
you feel me?
get be petty. I love him talking about that basket toss with that guy. One, it painted like even though you felt bad, I felt bad for that guy initially, but then when he was like, "Yeah, you remember you not only did you throw it, were you playing like basketball while I was getting burned to
Yeah.
Chris, but you celebrated and then turned the dial
The
up."
little
And I was like, copy. Yeah, 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 yeah. Reaping what you sow. Exactly, Dan. And what I really enjoyed about it too was that he lost. And he said it. He said, damn, he would have won.
yeah. Oh
And I was
yeah.
like, I said, I'm glad he even sees the irony here, right?
Th-
Like, and that's
He
why he did
held the
it.
L. Yeah, he did it. He knew it's every single person in that room. As soon as Homelander pulled up, knew what time it was. There's no way
Oh, you
around it.
saw it. How could
They
they
knew
eat
what
cake? I
time it
wouldn't
was.
be able to eat that cake. You know, when you're scared or anxious and like your throat closes up and you're just like, I was like, "They eating this Carvel cake is fire though." I don't know if you have it in Minnesota, but they do like chocolate ice cream. They do this like
I'm not about to do this with
chocolate
you. I'm
cookie
not doing this
crumble
with you.
and the vanilla
I'm
ice
just
cream.
not doing this with you. I'm not engaging in this with you. I don't live in fucking Antarctica. Okay? You're not about to play me like I live in Alaska or some shit. This is a very, you know what I'm saying, globalized, popular, well
But do you have
known.
Carvel? Do you have Carvel?
I've personally never had it, of course.
So what's this speech about? What's this speech about?
We probably got it though. I'm not
But
saying we don't got it. I'm just saying I never
have
had.
you had a Carvel cake? Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know how it looks? Again, what is this speech about? So the answer is no. Y'all don't have Carvel, and you don't know. And the explanation I was giving was pertinent information. Carvel is a
Okay, please,
staple for celebration in
please spin
metropolitan
back. What
cities
is
like New
Carvel? What
York.
is Carvel? I don't know what that is.
It is an ice cream. It is an ice cream shop, but it's very like it's a
So it's an
franchise.
ice cream cake? Oh, it's a
Yes,
franchise.
it's a franchise. Yes, 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 yes.
Oh,
But
we
it's
probably don't have
like
that then.
you don't. So I think I'm owed an apology. Couldn't.
Wait. Oh, wait. Hold on. Yeah, nope. There's one 9 minutes away. Carvel with two L's and an E, right?
No,
Oh.
that's a knockoff. That's Carvelle. Carvel is
All right, bro.
Carvel. Um,
All right, I took the L.
but yes, it's a staple. Like you have an event, you get a Carvel cake. Graduation, Father's Day, Mother's Day, you get the Carvel cake. It was like a family staple. They're cheap, but they're delicious.
Mm,
It's chocolate ice
okay.
cream, like a Oreo crumble, but without the cream, and then vanilla ice cream on top. And then the icing is not that sweet. It's perfect. So
Oh, so that
he brought this
okay.
cake and it was really like a Father's Day cake, like a celebratory cake. And I
Okay.
think it's
So
him
knowing
like,
what Carvel was pertinent to understanding that scene.
and I would have got through that spiel if he wasn't being a hater about Minnesota. It's not my fault you live there. It's not my fault you live there. Um, but
Right.
yeah, let's talk about A Train. What are your thoughts on him?
He's going to die. You know, feel me? Like I
Oh,
don't.
I feel like
He's
he's
going to
so
die.
reckless. He's so
Yeah.
reckless. Do you think,
Yeah.
but I think he's similar to Homelander in that he also wants to be liked. He's craving that. Like even with
Mhm.
Huey, where Huey's like, "We'll be good." I was like, "Why do you care if you're good with Huey?"
Yeah, I think this is the difference between him and Homelander, and I think that is a really cool juxtaposition because his comes from like actual human empathy, like the fact that not like a superficial need to be worshipped, but this just the very human need to like not be seen as a terrible person. Like nobody likes being seen as an awful human being. Yeah, exactly. That guilt is cooking him. That guilt is
I
cooking him, and
know,
so it's like it's been eating him up for seasons, and so I like that. I like that it like that's starting to motivate his actions.
and
But at the same
you
time, he's
can
not gonna
see
make
it.
it.
He's not gonna make it
Oh
because
yeah,
he's moving a little too dirty. He's getting caught by Ashley. I said,
yeah,
he getting
yeah.
caught by Ashley is enough for me to know, like, hey, this is it for you. And I agree. I agree. I agree though. At least he's gonna go out doing something right. And I don't know, somewhat repairing his legacy because I could see it every time he interacts with he's seething, he's depressed, and
Yeah,
he hates. I don't see that hatred towards everyone else. It's just like he's perpetually in a bad move. Um
yeah.
and, and it's tragic because he's someone who's trying to do the right thing. I'm 1000% sure that Sister Sage knows that he's the mole. She knows that he's
Mhm,
doing things. This is the thing about Sister Sage's character that I really love. Understanding what she is and how she uses her powers. Now, every action that's done, everything that's done in the show, I question whether or not this is by design, if this was manufactured
mhm,
by Sister Say, a byproduct that she anticipated. You get what I'm
mhm.
saying? Down to
Yeah,
even the firecracker getting her ass whooped by Starlight, which shout out, Starlight has never won a fight this
she's
entire
gotten nobody
series.
off that. She's never gotten nobody
She's
off that.
never, and to the point where her eyes glows and niggas be like, "All right, relax. All right, relax.
Put that
Take it
shit
back."
away, nigga.
But in a way, even though she has super strength, she's still like,
Yeah.
she's still a lot more durable than the she. They still be like, "All right," and I
So
just
seeing
thought
her
that was
finally get
interesting
firecracker. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that was the coolest thing I ever seen her do because she like Iron Man dropped in that bitch. She
because
bonked.
she's been
Wha-
having issues flying this whole time. Like she
Yeah.
just started learning. But when you angry, you gonna figure it out. And I'm glad my girl got just due. I just
No, 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 wait. Speaking actually of Starlight, because I actually have been wanting to talk about this, finding out what she did to Firecracker turned me off of her character
what did she
entirely.
do again?
I well, when they were 13, she spread a rumor because they were doing pageants. She spread a rumor that Firecracker had only made it this far because she let the judges like, you know,
Oh, a hit,
anal.
yeah.
Yeah, dude, like it was about a 13-year-old girl, and everybody was looking at her, and you know what I'm saying. When it comes to, and this is one thing specifically about me, when it comes to like childhood bullying, I do not play about that shit at all because I have seen like people who have taken their own lives in fucking middle school and high school off of that shit. So it's like when I found out that she did that, and she never actually like reached out to Firecracker, tried to me do have any sort of mediation, apologize, anything like that. She sort of just like let it be what it was. And then when Firecracker finally confronts her, then she's talking about she's sorry. I was like, I'm sorry, I can't rock with that. That's incredibly messed up. That's
I think
incredibly
it's
messed up. I can't rock
incredibly
with it.
messed up, but I also think they're 13. And I don't think that Starfire I'm not saying that she's justified. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But I think
for
it's
sure.
incredibly complex, right? They were both little white girls. They were both, you get what I'm saying? And she did it.
Right.
And then after, would you go to apologize to Firecracker? I don't think there would have ever been an opportunity where I'm like, me apologizing to Firecracker will, one, give her the catharsis she needs, but two, will do anything for either of us, right? Firecracker
Mm,
does not seem like someone you can talk to.
right.
Would you
I
talk to
think I
her
think
if you
I
spread a rumor about that racist white girl in your 8th grade class? Would you today be like, you know what? I'm retrospectively, I realized I was slut shaming. It was a different time. I'm really sorry. Would you go? Would you go? You see her on QAnon. You see her behind Trump. You see her on her podcast. You going to go speak to her?
maybe not. However, in that time, right, between 13 years old and 30 or however Starlight is right now, right? There was a lot of time in which Starlight did growing, presumably she did a lot of reflection, her brain developed a little more, she whatever the case may be. Um and so, she became an adult and she became the emotionally competent, kind, empathetic, caring Starlight that we know. The same Starlight that in season one experienced sexual assault of her own, and had a very hard time sort of coming out with that, and so on and so forth. Right? It should have been her responsibility to sort of think back in her life. Damn, what are some of the ways in which I have truly like
Have
perpetuated?
you have you so you're saying in your childhood, you've never started a
Yeah.
rumor?
A rumor about a 13-year-old girl at a pageantry
You're
getting
saying
railed by
13,
the
you're
judges?
saying 13, like Starlight was also 13, right? And the
Okay, here's the
repercussions
thing.
of that is different. So you think that she's justified in revealing that Starlight had an abortion publicly?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I've spread rumors. Oh, this nigga stink. He don't shower, right? You feel me? But that's something else entirely. To
To
what I'm
you,
saying that.
to
No, no,
you,
no, no. I mean, like
in
as far as the
Parasite, that
psychological
nigga said
effects.
he stink and two people died. In Parasite, he said one guy stink, two people died. Okay? You don't know. You
that,
don't
that
know.
was his
Have
last
you
straw,
have
though.
you
That was
apo-
his last
have
straw.
you apologized? That's what I'm saying. Have you apologized to that man?
Well, yeah, I mean, I got caught lacking when it happened, and I had to say sorry. But the point, the point is,
This
right when
this
it
is the
comes
thing
to
too. This is something else that I get what you're saying. Like she has had time to reflect, and as she started to
right,
grow and become a hero, she should have said, "I need to apologize." A couple things.
right,
That rumor she probably said gossiping amongst other people, and it probably didn't even resonate with her. That's number one, right? Because that girl, I'm not saying she did it at all. I'm not trying to, but I'm saying she probably was moving a little crazy and they all was gossiping.
no,
I don't like Firecracker because she's racist, so maybe that's a piece of it.
no,
But she was probably moving a
yeah,
little crazy, and they not crazy enough to warrant that type of hate, but enough that like girls
yeah.
started, they were all whatever, and then they moved on, right?
It didn't seem
Two
like it
is
though.
their personality. Starlight moved on when she brought it up. She was like, "Huh?" You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
it
I'm
did.
thinking of
It didn't.
the
She didn't
perpetrator
even
gonna move
remember.
on.
She didn't even remember it. No, but I'm saying is like even retroactively, she didn't even remember it. But number two, Firecracker, all of these personalities that we're seeing, especially with people like Firecracker, that's something that's been manufactured with her and she's been cultivating since she was a teen. Right. So
Mhm.
even if she got retro, she was like, let me go apologize. And she was 20. Firecracker was already on the Tommy Lauren route You get what I'm saying? Like this isn't something
Yeah,
she
but it
just.
wouldn't it may not have been targeted specifically at Starlight because here's the thing, Firecracker is racist, but we're looking at white on white crime. You feel me? Like I can I
And
can
then if
look at
she
it.
maybe some of it was fear. If I apologize to her, she's gonna record it. She's
Yeah.
gonna come out. She's gonna tell everyone I apologize. Like there's a lot. I think. I think there
You
was.
know, I
I
think it is.
think. Oh God.
You know, I think it is. Let me cook. Let me cook. You know, I think it is because I think I like the parallels between Homelander confronting those scientists and Firecracker confronting Starlight. And I think it really is just as simple as we don't understand the like intense psychological damage, or sometimes not only we do we not understand, but we don't want to understand the intense psychological damage that our actions have on other people, right? Like kids can be mean, kids can be, you know what I'm saying? Their kids are scary, man. I would never be a teacher as long as I live because they can get really, really mean. But at the same time, and this is something I've always advocated for bullied kids, because a lot of times what we do when we say kids can be really mean is we absolve the kids who were doing the bullying. I was a dork in school. I hung out with only the losers. Them niggas weren't mean. They were nice people. You feel me?
To
So when we say
you,
kids were
I
mean,
I
no,
I
no,
I hung out with the dorks. They were very mean. They were very mean to me. So I don't know what you're talking about. Every kid, they may not have been mean to you, and what that tells me is that you probably were one of the biggest perpetrators. But no,
what is
every group was mean in
Mm-mm.
a different way, right? There
No, it's
was
different though.
you see it now on Nerd Talk, right? The nerdy kids are doing what? That's how it was in high school. That's
But
how it
it's
was in
different
elementary
though.
school.
It's
Why?
different though. There's a difference. There's a difference, right? In terms of impact. Not only just impact, but in terms of like actual the mind state that you have to be in for you to like bully someone to their face. You're a F word, you're a B word, you suck, you're ugly, whatever the case may be. And to be a like teenager that like concocts a rumor that you know is going to destroy somebody's
But that's what I'm
uh
saying. Every
social standing.
every every social group would concoct a rumor.
So you say you must have went to high school in hell because not where I went.
No,
I
I
don't.
just
Every
know,
social
but,
group
oh,
was not
but that's what I'm
concocting
saying.
evil
You're
rumors
speaking
like
from
that.
a piece of privilege where you probably were in a social standing where you didn't, people wouldn't dare. But for many of us, women, black women, we are in different groups, and no matter
Wait, so
what group
Frankie,
we're
let me ask you:
in,
did you spread? Have you spread rumors? Like, did you spread rumors as a 13-year-old about another 13-year-old having intercourse with adults
no, no, I couldn't
as a
even,
means of
I wasn't even
discrediting them?
conceptualizing sex at that time
That's what
at
I'm
13.
saying. Some kids can be
But
mean in different ways. Some kids,
but I'm
they're
saying is,
high, the
but I'm
high.
saying is like repercussions, consequences, and impact is different, right? So,
Mm,
like, to us, this is egregious because we're adults and we understand the implication. To kids, all of it is
right.
on a level playing field. You saying that this kid stinks felt as difficult and will probably put him through just as much turmoil as a girl who was being called slutty. Girls was being called slutty for different reasons. Men, I grew up in an age where
Mm,
uh I grew up in an age where nudes sharing was like the biggest thing, right? Like
yeah,
guy,
it was
you'd send
nuts,
a guy a
bro.
nude, they'd share it, huh?
Yeah, I said it was nuts for real.
It was nuts for real. I can't believe these men were sharing news. That's kind of crazy.
But
Uh
ultimately, what I will say ultimately is that I think what it just boils down to, in the most simplest of terms, right, is Starlight, as she has the privilege of having that interaction not affect her because she wasn't on the receiving end of it, right? Firecracker was on the receiving end of that. And I suppose, I mean, really what I'm trying to say, it's really not up to any up to us or anybody else other than the victim to judge like how harshly something like that affected them, right? Like if that's something that followed her, because we don't know all the facts, but I can imagine that that's something that followed her for years, right? Something that probably,
Yeah.
because you have to think about it contextually, because they grew up in what was Ohio, in a highly Christian, conservatively Christian environment, full of really hardcore right wing values about virginity and womanhood. So that has a different impact than like growing up in like a metropolitan city where shit is just normalized. So I can imagine that that had a lasting effect on her, not only socially but psychologically. That to where I ain't gonna lie, if it was me, when I heard she did that, if it was me, I was like, that's a grudge I'd hold. That's a grudge I'd hold.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
I'm just
feel
a hating
that.
ass dude.
I guess my biggest point of contention here, my sticking point is fuck firecracker. And so I get what you're saying. I get the empathy, I get it, but I'm like, this girl sucks. This
Yeah.
woman sucks.
No, for
And
sure.
she's definitely the cycle of violence, she's perpetuating it, but she's also actively taking that and
Using it to
making women's
justify.
lives
Yeah,
worse,
for
right?
sure.
Like she is making women on a global scale. She's like this.
Facts.
I was slut shame. Women everywhere gotta fuck them. You get
They
what I'm
all gotta
saying?
suffer.
Yeah, yeah. Like, and so my heart doesn't bleed for her. You get what I'm
That's
saying?
fair.
Like, I think that's what
Nah,
I
that's fair.
get what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, and I think you're correct. I think that she is justified for wanting her get back with Starfire. Um, I honestly, I'm not gonna hold you. Maybe because I'm from New York, I did not. I was like abortion news.
That's what I'm saying. You from New York, like it's light.
When
It's
she
light.
said she had an abortion. I said, all right. I was like, the bitch is 32. Who don't got an abortion by that time? What are you saying? What are you
He said just
saying?
one.
I was like, I don't know.
Oh nah, that's what I'm
And
saying.
I went into vault mode where I started to think about how you could spin it. I'm like, that's fine. You're talking about freedom. Look at what you going. I do
Yeah,
agree she deserved that beating. I'm still whooping her ass for breaking HIPAA,
100%, one
but
trillion percent.
I wouldn't have been crying. I would have just whooped her ass for the sake of like, I'm over it. I'm pussy now. Cause
Um,
that's what she's saying to me. I'm pussy. You revealing my medical records. I'm
yeah,
pussy.
she called you pussy
But
on live TV.
I
Yeah,
don't think it was
and
that
think
big
she
of a
did
deal.
irreparable damage. She the star firecracker, because where you're right is firecracker now has done infinitely more damage to infinitely more people than Starlight ever did to just her. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
At
it's
13.
definitely like,
And she's doing
yeah,
this
at
as
their
a big age, knowing the
her big age.
repercussions, knowing that death is also a possibility for Starlight. You
Yeah,
get what I'm saying?
yeah. Yeah, she,
Like,
you know what I'm saying? But as a certified hater myself, I can't, you know what I'm saying? Firecracker to me is just an expert in her field of hatenomics. You feel me? Like I can't be mad. Yeah, she's a victim and now she's the aggressor. I can't be mad at how a hater chooses to motherfucking get their get back on the motherfuckers that they hate. Kendrick Lamar was just, you feel me? He rapped that song 5 times yesterday at a concert. You
si-
feel me? After he already won the beef. That's real
listen,
hating. That's real
yeah,
hating.
that's real clean hating. This girl, this girl was a Sagittarius rapist and is putting inflammatory
Oh
lies that
fuck,
could,
I forgot.
yeah, that could actually,
That's
we saw, I think it
right.
was a season before or like season 2 or 3 where people came in and
Yeah,
was killing people when they found out
yeah,
about Comp V. So
yeah. Oh yeah, they
she
was.
knows the
People were killing
impact of her
themselves too.
words. She gets it.
Yeah.
Someone came into Starlight's headquarters, and not just that, but she's showing where she's trying to incite an insurrection by having a 6-hour thing across the street. So she's
Oh yeah,
actively trying
100%.
to kill this woman for being called a slut 15 years ago.
I She didn't just get called a slut. I'm sorry, the way she described it, that shit sounded gnarly as fuck. She ain't just get called a slut. Because one thing if they said, "Oh, she was fucking Tommy on the basketball team," but she said she got into this pageant because the judges ran a train on her.
That's crazy.
You
That's
feel me? Like,
crazy. That's
damn.
crazy.
Because now
That's
the
crazy.
judges look bad too. Because
But
you
that's
feel
what I'm
me?
saying. Why the judges been like, that's outright? Why the judges? Why didn't the adults in this situation kick Starlight out?
That's true. That's true. They should have been some.
So,
They all
and
should
that's
have come in
another
and
thing, how
handled it.
there are bigger people at play who perpetuate and continue this so that they can,
Yeah.
do this. I did like going more into the entire scene. I
Yeah.
did
Please.
like finding out immediately that Huey did know about the abortion, and that it was a mutual
Mhm.
decision between the two of them. And I really like the thought of like two adults just being
Yeah.
like, the kid right now is not for me. And just normalizing the abortion. Once again, I thought they were going a little wild, a little being so
Yeah.
upset over the abortion. I was like,
It's just an abortion, my nigga. I don't know what
it's
to
just
tell
an
you.
abortion. Even though she's a Christian, I know she built her image on being Christian, but clearly right now that's
Yeah.
not her image anymore. Like that's something different. And so
Oh, I
I
will. I do want to add a perspective on that.
mm,
Um, I the religious indoctrination, and I guess I'll speak of it specifically from the perspective of like the Muslims. But it's similar in Christian communities too. But like the religious indoctrination is really, really hard to undo. Even if you're out of that life,
yeah,
growing up having learned that abortion is the devil's yada yada yada, and then having somebody out you like that, that shit's still gonna cut your heart. That shit is still gonna like that shit is
that's
still
fair.
gonna bleed you. You know, I can't
That
even imagine like being outed like that.
I couldn't either. I definitely fight. But then after I'm getting on live, I'm like, y'all need to relax.
She in New York. It don't even matter. Like, you feel me? Like, it don't even
No, but
really
people
ultimately
still be
doesn't
like,
matter.
this devil, this devil. I'm like, yeah, I can chill.
It's
Everyone
light.
has an
It's light.
abortion. It's like,
Oh, one thing
don't
I found
recommend
really
it.
interesting. One thing that was really fascinating is that like you can see as the progression from season 1 to season 4, Vought as a company has made a hard right wing turn after Homelander, with the introduction of Firecracker, with the introduction of uh, um, Sister Sage and all
Storefront,
that, because back in Stormfront, because back in season 1 and 2 of The Boys, Vought was like actively taking part in Pride Month, and like being like, oh, we have gay superheroes, and like all these other things that like are considered progressive and so on and so forth. But then now switch to immediately platforming a like actual neo-fascist. And I think that that is a specific critique of Disney, because what Disney does is really interesting. Disney puts this sort of like consumer front of being like pro LGBT, pro diversity, yada yada yada, but continues actively to spend money on Republican politicians to get bills passed in for the Republican Party. Like, they got done beefing with Ron DeSantis just recently, like those lawsuits that were going on, and then they went right back to donating the Republican Party, which, as we all know, is the party single most handily responsible for trying to peel back every single pro LGBT law. So there's a little bit of a dichotomy there, and I really think that that's what like The Boys is trying to explore, with Vought being like, we like gay people, but then at the same time platforming all these like objective psychopaths.
I agree, and I think it's also a critique on corporations and how they're surface level activism, they put it on like a
Yeah.
hat, right? Like even now with like Black Lives Matter, now that we're so removed from the tragedy of George Floyd, I'm noticing that the activism, the allyship that I've seen with corporations are moot, right? All of
Oh
these
yeah.
apps, Facebook, all of them have black creator paying programs that are all now gone, right? Corporations are now no longer recognizing Juneteenth as a holiday. All of a sudden, it's just
Mhm,
not worth taking off. And so I'm seeing people
mhm,
being like, this is not hot anymore. And I think a lot of that
mhm,
is something that they're critiquing as well, right? The person that they're platforming, their biggest money maker right now is Homelander, and he is
mhm,
popular the most amongst the right wings. So now they're,
mhm,
because none of their morals or whatever they were supporting actually matters to them, they're like, well, then we can just shift and pivot towards this. Now, when Homelander
mhm.
was trying to be for everyone, then yeah, throw some queer shit in there. Let's do this. But now that he's not, now that he's like actively being, this right wing like savior because that's where he's accepted, then they're like, well, then yeah, let's do it. Let's do this blind sign. Let's
I
do
like
this.
that
Like,
perspective. Yeah, I like that perspective. It's them they follow the money. Ultimately, this is the most and it's actually really true when it comes to real life because right wingers, bro, will pay for fucking anything. They will buy anything you sell them. As long as you convince them that what you're selling them is some secret product that will help them in this global fight against the left and against the authoritarian government, they will buy your water, they will buy your water bottles, they will buy your coffee makers, they will buy whatever. And that's so cool to see the both Firecracker and Homelander and just VOD as a whole. The irony coming from an Amazon production. Don't even get me
I
started on
know.
that shit, dude. I don't even don't even get me started, bro. Because I'm not about to hate on Amazon right here before I lose my deal.
Hello.
Yeah.
But yes, I agree. I think there is something, and someone put in on IG Live, the Deep is someone that you could see both sides, where he is just a corporate cog who just wants
Mm,
fame and money, and so
mm,
he is very much into whatever comes up. Wherever the
yeah.
wind blows, that's who I'm gonna be. Find me right there.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that's pretty cool. I think that's tragic for him too. Like, even with Sage, right? Sage calls him repulsive, and then he comes to confront her, and she's like, "You could," which is crazy. She said, "You could f me in the A," and he's
When she
like,
said that, I
"I mean,
said, nah.
first of all, it's funny. Someone was like, "I can't believe we got the world's smartest woman. She let the deep hat hit," and I was defending her, but then I was like, "Ass shots is crazy. We don't just offer that like
Yeah,
that."
that's just throwing that out. They on second interaction.
A
That's
little crazy.
nuts.
Not for black women. We don't just offer that on the table. Like, and
You feel
maybe
me?
you know what I'm saying? It's like I have a black homegirl, but she grew up in Union Square. She uses the word cock,
I love that
and
word. That's a
no, but
funny
she
ass word.
uses it like not when she's talking about, like, she'll use it like even when she's talking to
Just
her man, like cock. She does not say
ew,
dick. Yeah,
ew.
exactly. And that feels cultural. I was like,
Yeah.
you need to hang around more black people. Why are you using that word? And it feels obscene. It feels obscene.
Yeah,
It's crazy. And so
it's the
that
nastiest
her
way to say it.
of all of that stuff, we saw orgy, da, da, da. Her saying you could but sex me. I was like, what?
Yeah,
I was like,
that
I
shit
said my
that
word.
shocked me the most. I said,
It
out of
shocked
a
me the
black
most.
woman's mouth.
I was like, my word, my word.
I
And then it
started
made me
clutching my
second guess
pearls.
it. I said, she's the smartest woman in the world. I may be missing something.
But the
And
deep
that's what she
though,
offered
that's
first.
nuts. The deep though, like, and that's the thing, because I'm really trying so hard to get a read on Sister Sage. I don't know what she wants. I have no idea. And I've been trying to figure it out for these last 4 episodes, and it's not coming to me what she wants, why she's really there, and why she's choosing the deep of all people. And so seeing this interaction, I'm like, is she trying to use him for something, or is he like for something bigger than just sex, or is he just the first piece
I
of you stuff?
I'm of the mind that everything that she's doing, ever since she took the deal from Homelander, is curated,
Mhm.
including sleeping with the deep. When she
Okay.
first talked to him in the elevator and told him to stand up for himself, right? It was to get Ashley
Mhm.
out of the way. If you notice, she was running that meeting with the seven the way Ashley used to. And Ashley was in the corner. And that was of her
Mhm.
speaking to the deep once. All she needed was, and so the deep is one a people pleaser. He's still pretty powerful. And he's
Yeah.
in a position where she's like, I can do these amount of things from by being with the deep, and the way to appeal with the deep is to have sex with him. I do think she lobotomizes herself, period, to unwind. I do
Mhm.
think she does that, but I also think that she wants something, because in both instances, right, the blooming
Yeah.
onion, she had to order that before she lobotomized herself. And she knew he
True.
was good.
True, true, true.
She knew that he wanted it. Even this time, she ordered that
Yeah.
whatever, the Guy Fury poppers before
Yeah,
he got there, and then she was like, "Lobotomize me."
yeah,
And so I was like, she in her head is curating something for the deep. She wants the deep for something. We don't know what it is for, but
yeah.
I'm of mind that she's sleeping with him. She's doing all this stuff for the deep, and there's the added
Right.
bonus of like
Yeah.
the deep is hot. Let's act like let's not pretend.
Man, the
Let
thief is a rapist,
they're all
but he is hot.
rapists.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
A Train is the only one I think that's not confirmed
That's true. That's true. He the
because he's
worst thing
black.
A Train ever did was kill Huey's girlfriend. Since then, he been
He killed his girlfriend too.
yeah, who cares? I don't know.
And there's a suggestion that he's run through more than like
A bunch of
innocent
people.
people. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. And there. Remember when Ashley reads him? Clearly, there's like multiple people he's killed that she's been cleaning up for.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Here's the
but
thing though. When it comes to a TV series like this, I can overlook a murder easily, like that. Like I
murder,
ain't
you're
shit.
like
I ain't
murder,
even.
murder.
Yeah, he was the best guy around. Like,
Yeah.
no, it feels like he killed a couple people. I'm not really worried about it. You sexually assault somebody, okay? You feel me? I'm not. You're not
That's where you
redeemable. I
draw the
can't lock
line.
in with you. Yeah,
That's where you draw.
yeah. I
I feel
don't have
like
to.
the family members of the people that they murdered would disagree. Like, man, I wish they were just SA'd. But I feel you. I feel you on the morality thing. I think also a thing about A Train beyond his girlfriend, the rest of the murders could be like attributed to him being careless
Right.
with his
Not like.
powers and not like
Yeah.
maliciously murdering people, right?
Yeah. Not
Even
genuine
those three
cruelty.
guys that they killed to plant at that riot, he didn't kill.
Mhm.
It was everyone else. He
Oh
blocked one
yeah,
of
that's
them,
right.
but he didn't kill him. And I think that's very interesting about A Train. But back to the deed, I think ultimately, and this is my wishful hoping, I think that Sage is staging a coup to get Homelander out of here. And the way that she does that is
Mm,
by turning the entire team and taking over the team, right? She's already
mm,
putting she's already positioning Ryan to take Homelander's place, so Vought
mhm.
won't be an issue. She knows
Right.
that A Train is either going to die very soon or we'll have no issues flipping.
Yeah.
Firecracker is not a threat, right? At all,
Holy
right?
moly.
Although maybe to her, if she says she's a little vulnerable. I don't think Sage has any vulnerability that the other, invulnerability that the other. Like I don't think she's nearly as durable, with the exception of her brain.
Right.
And she doesn't have sex. So if you slap her, she gonna feel that. Like the boys could take
Yeah.
down Sage. Well, the boys just have been taking out soups very easily.
Yeah, they've been fading them niggas quite simply these days.
They've
They've been
been
locking in.
fading up. They've been fading up.
Yeah.
When they fought what's their Firecracker, when they was in the room with the multi guy, like
Yeah.
they was
They was
cleaning them
beating up.
up. They was beating
And it was
ass.
weird because I thought I thought it was a baseline that all soups had like heightened invulnerability.
I thought so
I because you
too.
see so many soups. I don't see so some of them do and some of them don't, but you can never tell which is which unless the plot demands it.
I agree. And I think that's also what's scary, right? It's arbitrary, and that's about it's a
Yeah.
drug. It affects everyone differently. And I think that is kind of cool that it's not a default. It's just I do think even with Sage, right? She does have like a quicker healing factor and things like that versus Chemical, right? Chemical has it to the extreme, right? Where you can probably
Yeah.
decapitate her and her head will grow back.
Should be good. Yeah.
Which I think I would love for them to explore whether or not she's immortal. Is she gonna live forever?
That is a really good question. But to your point about the Sage having a secret plan of getting rid of Homelander, I can see that, but I've been seeing a lot of people like theorizing that Sister Sage is like some sort of like I'm saying, sneaky agent that's trying to dismantle the system from within it, yada yada yada. And I just haven't really seen anything to suggest that about her. Do I think that she has ulterior motives outside of what Homelander has hired her for? Absolutely. Do I think those ulterior motives necessarily align with like the boys or like humanity? Probably not, because the way she talked to the Deep and told the Deep um that Ashley couldn't talk to him like that. Like the reasoning for why Ashley couldn't talk to him like that, because she's an evolutionarily inferior being, has me thinking she don't give a fuck about humans either. Like from a like a just a
Yeah.
purely intellectual standpoint, she just doesn't care about humans.
I'm of mind that she is conspiring to get rid of Homelander, but to your point, not because she wants to save the world, but because she's like, I don't want to live in a world where he is the head of the country. You get what I'm
You know what I'm
saying?
saying?
Like, I don't think that it's, to your point, something that's like inherently good that she's trying to do, or she's this freedom fighter. I think she's just like, I don't like this guy. If he's in power, I'm never going to be safe. You know what I mean?
Mm,
So like in
mhm.
my own entrance, let me do it. Or some of it is as an experiment. I ran the numbers, and from what I'm looking at,
Right.
Homelander don't it doesn't make sense for Homelander to be up top. Like
Yeah.
after he told her where his plan was, she was like, "The plan that you're telling me, it doesn't work if you're at the head of it." And her
I think
understanding,
that's it.
you get what I'm
I think
saying?
that's it.
But but
Yeah.
I think both things can be true. I think that she can not give a fuck about humans, but also be the reason why they win.
Because even I mean, being the most intelligent person on the planet, even stupid people know that like whether or not it's for the sake of the humans or for the sake of the soups, Homelander is just not even remotely a good person to have like a world power. Like even if he just killed all humans and like created soup supremacy on Earth, he would still subjugate the soups as well. Like there's no world in which anybody but Homelander wins. Everyone
I
loses, and
agree.
I think that people know enough to know that.
I agree. I agree. And I think that's also why she was pissed. Although I think she anticipated being outed into the seven, right? Because she's
Yeah.
like, now I can't do things in the shadows. Like, I thought it was beautiful the way she incited the riot, cosplaying
Yeah,
as one of
Starlighters.
the star. Funny that she cosplayed as a starlighter to start the riot, because she could have easily. Oh well, maybe she
Yeah.
was like there. The starlighters, if you throw coffee, they may have just yelled, but the Homelanders are
Yeah, but
about
the
to
other
act.
ones, they're the ones that got violent. Yeah, they would have got on bullshit. Yeah,
So
they
maybe
would have
that's
got
what
on
it
bullshit.
is. But since we're talking about conspiring, let's talk about Butcher. I got theories. I got theories. I got theories.
I know you do. Go ahead, drop them.
Okay, so there's a worm that we've been seeing. I thought it was a blood clot, but now I'm thinking this is closer to a symbiote type. I think the V worked, and he's not dying. It's his
Yeah.
power. Even that hole that Homelander saw wasn't like a blood
Mhm.
clot, but it was whatever his power is. And that's what killed the Plastic Man, whatever his name was.
I agree and disagree. I agree that
Let's
obviously he still got the V. That nigga got power. However, I believe him when he says that when he took another shot of V, it like increased the amount of like it decreased how much time he had left. But I think both those things are true. Or the fact that he has powers and he's still dying, and I think it's that like the usage of those powers will continue to make that doomsday clock last even like grow even shorter. Because I thought about it realistically, and I was like, I'd be willing to bet my bottom dollar that season 4 and 5 take place like within the same like 6 month time
10
span, or
days. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like yeah, not even 6 months. Like it could very easily take place in the same like month,
Yo, like 3
because
seasons of
it's
True
been
Blood
tight.
was like a week. The first 3 seasons of True Blood. No, I'm dead
Yeah,
ass. Like
I'm
season
done.
1 was like 3 days, and then season 2, cuz like the seasons would end and start at the
Mm,
same
right back up.
scene. You get what I'm saying? So the scene would be someone screaming, and then the new season would start with that same scene of someone screaming, and then they continue. So
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I know someone's laughing that I picked up True Blood was one of the best. I wish TikTok was out when True Blood first started,
Oh
because True
my
Blood
god.
at its peak was incredible, and then But we got interview with the vampire now, so I can't be mad.
Ain't that the one
It's
with the conservative vampires?
they're not who
Well,
True
not
Blood.
conservative. They True Blood, the ones where some of them fought for the Confederates. I was reading that somewhere that some vampires
Yes,
in
the
the
main character was a Confederate soldier. They love doing that
that's
shit.
nuts.
They love,
They
but they were
love doing
in
that shit.
like racism wasn't something that they strayed away from. They were in like nowhere in Louisiana. So like even the black
Mhm.
characters had to fight. You get what I'm saying? Um,
Yeah.
but we're getting on task. So you're saying you think Butcher is dying. You think Butcher's dead by the end of this show.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that nigga's not bro,
Interesting.
look at him. He's
Do
not
you do you
making it out
think
this jam.
do you think the guy Negan is real?
No. Shout out to you because without you, I wouldn't have come to that conclusion because yeah, I don't even think he's a real person at all.
I'm not
Nobody
gonna
has
hold
interacted
you.
with him.
No one's interacted with him, and I'm not gonna hold you. Neither have they done it with Huey's mom. And listen, listen,
No.
listen. No, no, no.
Wait.
I know what you're gonna say. When it was time to pull the plug, he turns around, he talks to his mom, he says, "What are we gonna do?" And then she nods to the nurse and she walks away. The nurse walks away. That could be interpreted that the nurse is like, he is dealing with some shit. Let me walk away. She actually doesn't say a word to the nurse, and the nurse does not say shit back to her.
Maybe. Maybe.
But you
But
know what really convinced me?
what?
Who put that? How did she get the V to put it in his bag?
To put it into
Where did who
Hughes?
put the V? Huey went, and when he came back, the V was in that in his father's bag.
He could have put it there
I think he put it there,
at
which
some other
means
point.
that there is set. I think he's like trying to grapple with what's going on with his dad by bringing back his mother, who he hadn't seen. And why would his dad make his mother power of attorney? Even when they spoke to the lawyer, we don't know. The lawyer didn't have paperwork. It looked like he was talking to a lawyer to get. He's like, "Listen, my mom has a power of attorney. This is the situation," and the lawyer was
Right.
explaining the situation.
You're right. Oh, okay. So I was about to bring up the lawyer as a counterpoint, but that's a good point. But still, I just don't think it makes like I could see why the CIA agent, Negan is not real, but I don't see any narrative reason for Huey fucking imagining his mom. Like that conversation that he had, if it's true, like if you turn out to be right, I think that would be so fucking dumb because that conversation that he has with her, where she explains to him about her postpartum depression, and she explains to him why she left, and she like apologizes to him, and they have that sort of like that emotional catharsis from that moment, would be completely undermined if that was just something he was imagining himself. Because it's like,
Or
how
it's
would he?
just him coming to terms with himself. I think they've shown that psychosis is a side effect of the drug, right? Homelander's
Yeah,
experiencing it, Butcher's experiencing it. We saw Chemical experience it at one point. So I think there's levels to it, and they're talking about like for him, his only family member is dying, and he's grasping for someone to argue and debate, right? Someone probably said, "We're going to pull this plug. Here's a DNR." And that's when he was
yeah.
like, "My mom." Now, I'm not, I agree. I wouldn't, if it turns out to be not true, I wouldn't be shocked. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
but if
I'd
it
be
is
shocked.
true, I'm gonna feel super smart.
No, I think you know what I'm saying, you got a little more dip on your chip than necessary because you got it. You might got it with Negan. You might have it with Negan, but the odds of her being
But the odds of
like,
two characters experiencing it, unless there's an
yeah,
actual narrative reason, I agree. But I want to put it
it's
out there
low.
so it's on wax. I gotta put it
So
on. So it's on wax. I can be like, ah, told y'all.
just
What's
in case,
up?
but you gonna look silly as fuck when like they confirm somehow that it's absolutely real. I'm gonna spin back to this moment. I'll
That's
look at you
fine.
crazy.
You gonna look
Yeah,
silly as fuck too. I'm like, wow, once again, Frankie is right. Cause this
if
is
you're right.
always how things go. I say something, people are like, Frankie, too much dip on your tip. Who let her cook? And then
If
what
you're right, I will
happens?
issue a public apology. If you're right about Huey's mom, I will issue a public apology.
If I'm right about I want a reel under a minute. I want a TikTok under a minute. I don't even want you to monetize off the apology. Okay?
That shit is fucked up.
You fucking
Damn.
wordy ass nigga too. I know you gonna be tight. Yeah.
I
Figure
will
out how
issue
to be
apology.
concise. Figure out how to be concise. You got
Nigga,
59
all I'm gonna say
seconds.
is my bad. I'm gonna say is my
Nah.
bad, big bro.
I want a heartfelt destructo jugo apology in 59
And what
seconds.
happens? And what happens if you're wrong? Actually, I don't want an apology if you're wrong. I want you to come out and publicly say, just admit you were wrong and say, apologize to your audience. Don't apologize to me, because you be leading them
Apologize to
niggas
my
astray.
audience. When's
You be
last
leading
time I
them
led
niggas
them
down
astray?
the wrong.
When's last time I led them astray?
Every single fucking take you have on Fast and Furious leads them niggas in
I knew you was gonna say Fast and the
darker
Furious.
and darker. Every time, bro.
Listen, listen,
Send
listen,
the niggas
listen,
to
listen.
hell.
About Fast and the
I want to hear it.
Furious. About Fast. And that's the only time. This is the thing. When I have actual thoughtful analysis, they be like, boo, tomatoes. But when I be like throwing shit at the wall, people be like, this bitch is Plato. This is Socrates.
Yeah.
Um,
Damn
but when it comes
it.
to the Fast franchise, I am just a lover of action, and I'm just trying to make sense of a franchise I can't leave alone. And
You don't
this is
do that on
what
your
makes
own
the most
time.
sense.
Don't bring the niggas down with you. Cause they in the comments talking about, wow, I never thought of it that way. Shut
Yo,
the
they in
fuck up.
there. And they can't. Someone went, my friend Crystal Chanel, she was like, she can't keep getting away with this. Please, somebody stop her. And I
Niggas in the
won't. And
comments
I
hyping
won't.
you up. Yeah, you gotta
I
apologize
think
to your fan
pretty
base.
anytime someone brings it up, total strangers, I tell them the full theory. Total straight. It
And
could be Barack Obama. If Barack Obama was like Vin Diesel, I'd be like, let me give you my Fast and the Furious theory.
I know that because I've heard it like 9 times.
It's
I
so good.
fucking is
Know by heart.
etched into my brain. Yeah,
Know by heart.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it is dumber every time. It's dumber
No,
every
it's
time.
not dumber every time. You're
It's
probably like,
dumber
wow,
every
this
time.
is you're probably like, this is so good. This girl is
It's not
a
though.
leader. This girl is a
It's
leader.
not
This
though.
is a site. You can't tell me. I get that you think that the argument is dumb. You can't tell me it's not a well crafted. Well, thank you. Coffee and Bro Nuts just asked me, what is this theory that I have about Fast and the
For
Furious?
fuck's
So
sake!
I'm like,
Oh my
thank
god!
God. Thank God. Thank God. I've been waiting for
Hey yo,
somebody to
somebody
ask.
block this nigga,
Let
bro.
me
Somebody,
let me go on this theory. We're curious now. There's 3 people on my
bro,
Instagram right there. I'm looking
we're
at it.
curious.
Yo, and just
Oh
so you know, I'm not capping. Let me share my screen so y'all know.
nah, this is
So I
exactly
know.
no. Go ahead. This is exactly
Window
what I
number
warned y'all
two.
against.
Yo, window number 2. Here we go. What is this theory? We're curious now. I need y'all to know. This is not
Okay,
me.
go ahead.
Okay. So, peep. Fast and the Furious 1 through 5, whatever. Fast and the Furious 5, Fast 5 comes out. The bank robbing scene happens, and they remove a safe from from the wall. And when they do that, they introduce magic into the world. Okay.
Oh my
And it
god.
comes to a climax on that bridge where Jason Momoa's character is, The Rock is, and Vin Diesel is. Everybody else dies, right? In that moment, Vin Diesel's car, I think an alternate version of his car comes in, and he is now driving a mech, and that is what is continuing the magic. But Pete, look, first of all, the fact that you went to my Instagram to talk shit is crazy. But Pete, Vin Diesel is able to spread the magic to anyone who he considers family, so through the coronas. So anyone who goes to that barbecue now has
Ah, no,
magic, right? tyreek Tyrese has luck magic. What's his name? Ludacris is super smart. This guy at one point was just fixing cars, and now he can hack into the mainframe of everything. Charlize Theron can talk to tech. Okay, thank you. And
But
so
that I
what we saw in Fast 10 is the Empire Strikes Back moment. His crew is gone, his car is broken, okay? And now we're going to see what is he going to be like without the power. We even saw with the baby. He had a baby driving a car, jumping out, doing these crazy feats. Thank you. Back to our show. I know you sad. Yeah, neighborhood.
that
I know you. I know you sad.
nigga.
I know you're sad.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
yeah. Okay, that's a good
Anyway,
one. Yes, thank you. Round of applause. Thank
thank
you to
you.
Frankie for that fucking long-winded ass dumbass theory. Um,
She said, "I'm
no
sorry. That's
notes.
hilarious." No notes.
This shit sucked.
And when it happens, I don't know. You know what I'm
When what
saying?
happens?
They went to space when it's confirmed. They went to space in a Pontiac. That's not magic.
They went to space in a rocket
It
strapped
was
to
a
a
Pontiac.
Pontiac.
That's still insane. A Pontiac shouldn't be able to break the atmosphere.
Okay, and but it did.
That's a
Okay,
great.
so
That's a
you're right.
great. Why are
There's
people not
some
driving Pontiacs if that's the case? If they're
yeah, there's
invincible,
something at play here.
they're
Yeah,
death
there's
proof.
something at play here, but it's not what you think it is. It's not what you.
Damn,
Honestly, I like Goofy's Jurassic Park theory better.
you're a
Yeah.
hater. Blazing Goofy not even here.
I
You're
knew
not
that
even
shit would
here. It's
hurt.
just as dumb.
I knew
It's
that
just as
shit would
dumb.
hurt.
It's just as dumb as mine. What a hater.
Yeah, it is.
Sexism.
I
Homophobia. I don't
knew
know
that shit would
how.
hurt.
I don't know how.
Oh,
Whatever. Huh?
I knew that shit would hurt as soon as you heard me say it. That shit hit your heart. Like, bro, I saw that shit. Yeah,
Hater
it is just as
activity.
dumb. It is
Like,
just as
what do
dumb.
you like? I don't know what you gained from that, but either way, let's talk about Frenchie. Let's talk
So
about
talk
Frenchie.
about him.
How do you? Um, I think that we have been exploring how Frenchie uses sex to kind of
Yeah.
fill in a hole. And I
Yeah.
do not feel, I really wish that black guy killed him because he's wild. It's
Yeah.
not like he didn't
Yeah.
know that he's the one who killed him. It would have been one thing if it
Yeah.
was revealed when he told the story, like, oh,
Yeah.
but he
Yeah.
knew from the first time he hit that he killed that man's family. And it
Yeah.
reminds me of what was it? Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where Bucky was chilling with this guy who Sonny
That
killed
one Asian dude. Yeah. The
to
old
like,
guy.
and I was like, why? Sickness. You're
Yeah.
sick.
That's gnarly. That's
How could you
gnarly.
do
That's
that?
I don't like that. I didn't fuck with any of what Frenchie was up to. You gonna wipe that dude's entire family off and then continue to crack cheeks? That's nuts.
Crack
That's
cheeks is
nuts.
crazy.
That's psychopathic behavior. And the thing is,
Right.
I haven't really been enjoying any of the Frenchie scenes as of late. Not because he's gay, but because he's been spiraling for the last 2 seasons. Every time you see this nigga, he's not locked into the actual plan to what the group is doing. He off over there doing something else entirely different. Dude, get back. Last season, or was it either this season or last season, he was off the drugs for like half the time. It was the beginning of this season. I think it was the first few
This season
episodes, and then there
too.
was a little bit of last. Yeah, he was off the drugs the entire time. He's almost as big a liability as Butcher is sometimes, and I feel like nobody calls him out on it except Kimiko. Kimiko's the only person that'd be like, what? They'd be asking like, what do you do? Yo, I do not hate the gays during Pride Month. Um, I love the gays. Uh, one of them myself. Shit, fucking greatest
You're
guys ever.
gay.
No, but you know what I mean. I'm.
I,
I got
I was like, Cap,
fucking.
Cap.
I
It's because you
got
watched
peoples.
Drag
You feel me?
Race once doesn't make you gay. What are you
I gotta
saying
start.
right now?
I gotta start Interview with the Vampire, but I'm afraid if I watch that shit, I'm gonna actually get on that type of time because
Probably
what I
Sam
saw
Reed is
of those
crazy.
clips,
Wormtail. Everybody's sexy. Even characters that initially you're not attracted to, by 2 episodes in, you're like, there's a
yeah,
skinny Indian kid. I didn't fuck with him.
bro, that nigga is so fine. What I saw an
Well,
edit of him on TikTok,
yo, but that
nuts.
that edit came in after. If you saw him season 1, he was
Oh
whack.
yeah,
And now all of a sudden he got turtlenecks and his hair
yeah,
slicked back.
You feel
That's
me?
this
I
season.
was
That's
like,
brand new. That's brand
oh, for
new.
real? So y'all had
Yeah.
to wait for it. Y'all had
We
to wait
but
for the
we
glow up.
weren't minding because there was other booty available. You feel me?
Lestat is like that. Lestat is something else
One
entirely.
of
I'm not even gonna lie.
Listen, I know I said I was gonna leave Milk alone, but I'm playing in the snow. If Sam Reed pulls up,
If the snow
starts
is
speaking
Lestat.
French to me, it's yeah, enfant, enfant, enfant. I'm gonna
uh,
be like,
yeah,
absolutely.
nah.
It's crazy how different Lestat's French persona is so different from Frenchie, who is not a French guy I would talk to. He always
Yeah.
seems
Yeah.
dirty and drunk, and he
Yeah.
just needs to get it
Grimy.
together, and grimy and
He
gross.
seems mostly
But I'm
grimy.
glad I'm glad you brought up that Kimiko does check him. She is the only one who actually checks him. And you know what?
Yeah.
I I'm glad that they're moving towards her speaking, because for a long time she fell into the like silent Asian trope where like
Yeah.
someone this like ex machina is just doing karate and isn't
Yeah.
speaking. So I'm glad that they're
Yeah.
actively like showing her personality this season, and like we're really getting to see her. I'm also I love that they bring her for muscle because she really is all you need. You can't
No,
beat
fact.
her. Someone
Yeah.
they blew
So
her
like
in half and she killed that girl. Well, she
as
almost killed
far
that
as
girl.
power scaling goes, it's actually like she's damn near on original Black Noir level. Like she's certified. Like the seven at their height in the beginning of season one, she could have easily made the team because she's like top five in the top five soups. I think she could cook A Train. I think she's easily washing the deep. Obviously, it goes without saying that she'd
I don't
wash
know.
Firecracker
I
and
don't know if
Sage.
she could cook A Train because she's not fast. You get what
Mm,
I'm saying? So
I
like
know,
I don't think she would lose in terms of like A Train can pull her apart and then just bring one part of her on the other side of the world. Like you get what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
the fact how's she gonna stop A Train? She has super strength, but I think A Train has well, no, technically any speedster has super strength, right? Just off impact.
yeah. She has speed though. She's not like a speedster like A Train is, but
She's
she's also
nowhere
really
near as
fast.
fast, or she's not as fast as Homelander. She's not as fast as any of them.
Nah, she's pretty fast. I remember there was a scene in season at the end of season one where she snuck A Train and like ran into the room and then broke his leg. Do you remember that when he like pulled up on Huey? Um
But
fucking
he was he
no,
was
find the clip.
high. I'm gonna
Find
find the
the
clip,
clip.
but he wasn't
Yeah, he was
I,
high off the shit that makes him even faster. And she snuck him, bro. Pull the clip, roll the
I
clip.
don't know. You
I
got to
swear to
find that
God.
clip. I don't know where it's at.
I got you. I
Find it
got
on
you.
YouTube. But you're right. I think she's up there just off of her healing factor alone. But we saw this is another thing about Vought being more greedy and how we're seeing the decline of the seven over time. Because you're right. In season one of The Boys, the seven was the best of the best. Translucent was not tripping about being in there. He was like, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna kill y'all all. Like
Yeah.
they had to stick
Yeah.
dynamite up his ass. Like that's not something you'd fathom doing. But beyond
Yeah.
that, he would have it feels like he would have killed whoever, right? And even like him them capturing him was by chance, right? He was fighting Huey and all them, and he got like electrocuted, but it was all by chance. But Maeve
Yeah.
was up there. Even Starlight, Starlight, I guess, was a joke, but we're seeing like against Firecracker, and like when
Yeah.
you see what the B level soups were, Starlight is actually up there. She's pretty
She
strong,
was
like
up
she
there.
can get you. Um,
Yeah.
the deep I haven't seen yet, but I'm guessing there's
It's
something
weird.
about the deep that makes me feel like if you put him in water, he's cooking you. And I think he's still strong.
I agree. I 100% agree. And I think that's what makes this character so funny. It's because um him being like a parody of Aquaman and like this like this seven taking place in like a real world type situation makes it increasingly apparent that like an Aquaman type of character is useless on ground, because in reality nobody has any reason to be in the water. Like these niggas aren't gonna fight, and I'm saying, in the Hudson River. Everything that happens in the series is happening on the streets of New York, in the streets of this place, that place. So all of the Deep's powers are essentially moot, and though they have, and so they have to like actually schedule out crimes for him to stop in the water that make him look like a hero. Otherwise, he's just some fucking guy, and I find that so funny. And I don't think he's strong at all. I don't think he has any like crazy super strength outside of the water. Maybe he's got something where because I know he's vulnerable because he's the one that went all the way down to the bottom of wherever that plane crashed and found the manifest and was able to bring it to Madison Stillwell. And he was also the person who found
Damn,
um
that's ill though. That
I
is
know
ill,
that shit is
right?
yeah, I think I wish they would show more of that. He was also the person who found Translucent's body at the bottom of the Hudson. And so it's like he has strength in the
But
water, but
that's
not a
also because he got ops, right? He's Littlefinger. You know, like he got all the animals were helping him look for it. So Mike, we were talking about this. They all don't have super strength. What's her
yeah.
name doesn't. Sage doesn't have super strength. Mother's Milk talks about it. Um,
Yeah, and
and she
multiplier guy didn't have super strength either.
yeah. So they don't
They
all
multiplied it.
have super strength, but I think they're a
Yeah,
little bit stronger than humans, or there's
right.
something about them that's regenerative. So like for
Yeah,
her, it's only her brain. And I think like all of her power is in her brain. So physically, she's not very strong. And it could also be that because all her power is in her brain is the reason why she's not vulnerable, why she's not invulnerable, why she's not strong, because her brain is not like sending those out to the rest of her
yeah.
body. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so it's all the power, all of her like sort of compound V strength is condensed into specifically her brain and like with nothing else, with no
Exactly.
regenerative abilities for anything else. I like that idea, and it's really and I'm not. It used to be because we talked about how in season one, it was hard for them to kill translucent. That's what I loved about the boys season one because they even explicitly said like killing a soup is really difficult. It took them like 6 months to torture some information out of this other soup this one time. And Frenchie
Yeah.
makes a point of saying that each soup is different and it's a different problem to solve. And I loved that. And then all of a sudden, I feel like they kind of abandoned that to a point
There
where most soup just try
soups
to
are
shoot
getting clapped. Yeah,
left and
like
right.
I agree. I love that level of dangerous to the point where they needed to take V themselves to compete.
Yeah.
And this season, I feel like it's so easy to clap a soup, right? Like Butcher killed that multiplier guy without using whatever's in his brain, right? They clapped
Yeah.
him with Mother's Milk was just using hands. He was just slapping them. You know what I'm
Just
saying?
faded him.
Like even
Just gave that
Starlight
nigga
was
the one
just
two.
fading Firecracker, which immediately I was like, that's why Firecracker was never going to be as popular as Starlight because
Yeah.
she doesn't truly have power, right? She's pretty and she's a
Yeah.
soup. And I think she kind of notes that too, like,
Right.
like I don't know. I think some of it too is that she never practiced to get better.
Who, Firecracker?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, her whole thing came. What makes her interesting soup is that her whole deal came from her whole rise to fame didn't come from like a display of her powers. It didn't come from her being a hero. It didn't come from her training. It came from her being a propagandist. It came from her doing fucking podcasts and shit. So
Why you say
she's never
propagandist
had
like this? You so fancy. You're like propagandist.
it.
And then
was
you
I
looked into
misspoke.
the abyss.
I need you to stop. You know what I mean? Like if you see me do some funny shit, keep that shit to yourself, big bro.
What you gonna
All
do?
right.
You gonna expose me on the you gonna expose me on the internet later. Say Frankie had an
Yeah, it's gonna get
abortion.
reckless.
Yo, we said that earlier. We were talking about how she's Tommy Lauren. Um,
Yeah.
I'm still on
What are
season
you
one. What we
doing
doing
here if you're
here?
on season one,
We
gang?
on season 4. Supporting. Supporting, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted to close out talking about Huey's decision to inject his father with V.
Incredible step backwards for the character. I don't know what the fuck that nigga was up. Like a crazy
As
step
he's
backwards.
watching, first of all, one, Butcher told him what happened when he took V.
Yeah,
Two,
already told
like he knows the rep. He's seen it. He's felt it. And I was like, "Cause your daddy died? Why would it?" He's seen what soups are like. Like I don't.
him. Yeah.
I guess they're saying
I
grief makes you desperate.
I guess that's the point, right? I mean, this is the first time, since Robin that like he's going through the. Well, I mean, and I guess it's fueled by Robin, right? Because Robin died without him even having a chance to know what the fuck happened, and now he's in a position where he's watching another loved one die, and he actually feels like he has some agency in this moment to see if he can try to change the outcome. But regardless, like Butcher, the worst, most morally stupid person on the show, told you it was a bad idea. Literally, the king of dumbass decisions told you that that was a dumbass decision, and you locked in anyways. He said it was making his cancer worse. He locked in anyways. I can't imagine that. And Kimiko has already been through it. What I find so funny about that is that, like, we already knew from season 1 and 2 that most people in adulthood who get compound V, it kills them in a really gruesome way. Kimiko was one of the
Yeah.
few who survived. Why would he do some shit like that?
I guess he was like, he dead. It's either death or more death.
Yeah, it's that thermal shit. I mean, but it's like the one
He
of them is way more painful than the other. Oh God!
I guess
But he woke
maybe
up.
he felt he woke up. He woke up. So I'm interested. It'd be cool if he turns into a zombie because that's Shaun of the Dead. That'd be kind of
Uh,
ill.
just
But didn't
randomly.
Huey also take it and survive because it was just once? No, Huey took Temp V, which was made for adults. And that's what Butcher was taking too. They were both taking temporary V. And
Yeah.
then Starlight was like, hey, it's killing y'all. Yo, that was another thing. I don't like Starlight as a character, period, just because I find her annoying. But when Butcher said I got like four months to live, and she was like, I told you that shit was gonna kill you. All right, well, now it is. Like, what, what did you
What?
accomplish by telling me that shit was deadly? Yeah, by saying I told you so. Like, I hated I told you so. When I'm
Oh
dying,
really?
you said
Oh,
I told you
you
so.
hate and I told you so, ass nigga. You do. You of all people, you hate and I told you so type of person.
Let me tell you, I wouldn't say it if
That's
you were
not.
dying. If I told you something and you were dying, I wouldn't say it. I like it. I told you
Yeah.
so when we doubted you and called you crazy. I say I told you so because y'all say I'm crazy. Y'all gaslight me. Y'all be like, Frankie is the dumbest. And then nobody apologize. That's what be really getting me.
Oh my
Like,
god.
I be right, and then nobody be like, Frankie, I ridiculed you and publicly gave you the belt. I'm sorry.
The bells.
Yo, they be bringing out the belt. They be
They be
lashing
lying.
me.
They
They
giving
be
you public
lashing
lashes.
me. They be giving me public lashing. Oh my god. I'll never forget Black Panther. I made a video about Shuri and how everything that she worked through in Black Panther 2 was taken away in the last 10 minutes. And everyone was making videos stitching me. This dumb bitch thinks that what's his name? Umbaku is the king. I was like, he quite is what happened.
He
And then
literally,
Straw Hat did a breakdown on how he became the king, and everybody was like a visionary. I I
you
was
be
vomiting.
expecting too much.
I was
Let me tell you something.
vomiting out of like
You be expecting too much out of your audience. You be thinking them niggas are sharp minded. They're
you
not.
know what's so crazy? I love when people are rude. And I'm like, maybe they're just passionate. So I'll correct them politely. I'll be like, actually, it's this. And they'd be like, fuck you. I'm like,
Because there's no other way to go. There's nothing to say from that. I'm sorry,
I
bro. But
think
if
they're
I
going to
came
say,
in
like, my
hating,
bad.
if I came in hating on some real evil shit, like, no, you dumb bitch. Actually, it was issue number 39. And then you prove me wrong and you say it was issue number 38. I have one of two options: apologize and look dumb as fuck for that, like the way I just came at you, or double down. I'm doubling down. I'm sorry. It's fuck you. This is how dare you. I'm blocking you. I'm not going out like that.
I'd be
I'm not
polite
going out like
too.
that.
I'd be wild polite too. I'd be like, that's not how you talk to people. Da, 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 da. And they'd be like, what a bitch.
It's the
I can't
politeness
believe
that be
she
pissing
blocked
niggas off.
me. Is
It's the
that what it is?
politeness. It's like, how dare you like be cool after I just got on bullshit with you? Like, you think you're better than me, nigga? That's really what it
Yeah.
is. Like, you think you're better than me? I kill you.
Kinda.
Like, it really that's what it is. I'm like, just be hating a nice person. Or you think why you
I
think like Fanita's so famous, bro. She is not nice, and she has clout because of it. You be nice as hell. That's why niggas don't respect you. You gotta start getting mean.
I
You
guess
gotta start
I
getting.
don't. Yeah, I think because like my fan base too. I don't want them to feel crazy. Like if I start talking to guys like Fanita or Drew Afulo, I'm going to also alienate the people who support me because I'm also talking about them. You get what I'm saying? So if I start talking about men are short and stinky, and you can't get bitches
Better
like
short.
me. mm,
I mean, better short and sticky. Hey, chat. I want y'all to know that's how she talks in her everyday life.
I
That's
be
how
talking
you talk in your
regulars.
everyday. You talking reckless about men in your everyday life. Like so,
But
you
I
act like you
love men,
cool on
y'all.
TikTok.
I'm wildly heterosexual too. That's the gag. I don't even got the good sense to be gay.
And you still hate on niggas
Niggas
this
gonna
much,
watch
like just in the
me
day to
hating
day.
on men, and then I'd be like, "But what you trying to do after this?" And guess what? They never say not after what I saw you say. They'll apologize. They'd be like, "I'm sorry you had to deal with that."
Yeah, yeah. That's
Here's
what we
some
call a finesser. That's what we call a finesser. Chat. She be
Frankie
lying. She hates men.
finessing Frankie.
So,
Yeah, I'll change my name to
fantastic
finesse.
finesser.
Fantastic
Fantastic.
finesser.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Well,
But
overall,
yeah,
oh, I had one more question. I had one more question.
mm,
I wanted to ask your perspective because there was something really interesting that happened with that Sister Sage scene and the Deep, where she talks about where it confirms pretty much everything we've all been saying about how she lobotomized herself, but it was the way she talked about it, the way that sort of like that conveyed that she was like at least sometimes feels genuinely burdened by her intelligence, and like she feels like she's trapped by how intelligent she is, and so she has to resort to actually like fucking lobotomizing herself to feel any sort of release. I wanted to ask you about what you thought about that scene as it relates to her being a black woman who is the smartest person on the planet, but also like is someone that like is frustrated by that intelligence.
yeah. That's funny. I've been trying to construct a video on it too. Just the burden of being a black woman and having all that knowledge is overwhelming, right? And we see that with her interaction with Homelander, where the first thing she says is like, the reason why they called me Sister Sage, how you'll interact with me being a smart woman and also being a black woman, being a smart person,
Yeah.
being the smartest person, and also being a black woman. And I think that
Mm,
burden of knowing how people react, how they perceive you, how the world is in its purity, like actually knowing things is overwhelming. Think about how much you know and like how that inhibits you. You know what I mean? Now
mm,
add to that the fact that you know how much people hate you specifically because of who you are. Like things that you cannot change. The fact that she's black, the fact that she's a woman, and now she has to internalize that. And she has the knowledge to know that there's nothing she can do to actively change those feelings and those perceptions towards her. And so like sometimes you just want to unwind and watch Real
yeah.
Housewives of Atlanta.
Yeah. So do you ever feel burdened by being as intelligent as you are as a black woman?
Yeah, I just smoked some weed. I don't lobotomize myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, talk about it. Just facts. I think that's what it was to her. Like she was just unwinding, man. Damn, couldn't imagine. Because I'm a
I
smart
mean,
guy, but it
oh
doesn't
yeah, you're
ever like.
Muslim. You don't drink.
Oh
So
yeah, I don't be
you don't
drinking,
drink.
but I unwind with them eddies, bro. Them eddies be getting me light.
That's a wild way to unwind. There's no control over it. It's spontaneous. God bless. You take an
So
Eddie,
all about
you're jumping off a cliff when you take an edible. You're saying, let's see how high I get. When you're smoking,
it.
you're
Yeah,
like, all right, I'm high. And then you put it down. Right? When you
yeah.
take an Eddie, you say,
That's what I love about it. It
what do you
just I
say?
love
Wahala?
not knowing
Wahala
when
is
this shit
so
gonna
much
hurt.
Wahala is so much cooler than God. Let me tell you, like the word. Like saying
Oh,
God bless is one thing, but you like on like Wahala, that shit
or
is
wallahi,
ill.
like oh god,
What is
like
it? Wahali?
wallahi,
Wallahi?
wallahi. It means
Wallahi. That's
I
even more
swear by
ill.
God. I mean,
I
wallahi,
swear
I'm
that's
tired.
even iller when you translate
Yeah.
it. I swear by God, wallahi,
That shit
wallahi.
is funny as fuck, bro. I was surprised. You live in New York. I would have assumed you had like surrounded with Muslim
I have
niggas.
Muslim friends, but they're not like Muslim like you. Like
They
they
don't.
don't say
Oh,
wahali like as a joke.
Frankie really
You
is
feel
bad at
me?
names. Jesus fucking Christ.
How do you say it? Walali?
Wallahi, bro, I had to defend you in
Wallahi.
your own comment section because niggas know you just suck at names. You're
Yo,
just bad
Mom
at
and Maeve, come on, grow up. Like
it.
grow
Those are
up.
different words. Those are different words.
But did they
Those are
not?
different
You
words.
did you know who I was talking about or no? Did you know what I was talking about or no?
Yeah, but at the same time, it's
No.
like I'll let it slide.
Relax.
I'll let it slide.
Let
I'll
what?
let it
And you
slide
know how I know? Because there was only one comment that said it. And maybe because I was like, I
because
made a
everybody else
mistake.
used to it.
And everybody was like, all right.
Because everybody's used to that shit. I be realizing like when you say a name on your TikTok, most niggas don't check you because they're just like, it is what it is. It
Yeah,
is
knew
Frankie.
better, do better, knew that. I started my TikTok talking about the names I assigned to the people in My Hero Academia, and I think that was a great foundation to let people know what was up. Um
Yeah,
so maybe
keep
that's
it on
why
beat.
I started off because I don't know none of their names.
N- None of their names.
All I mean, like I know Todoroki and All Might, but even Todoroki, I was calling him Icy Hot. Like I didn't know his
Niggas,
actual name.
niggas racist.
Those
Niggas
names are
racist.
hard. What's that guy that gets hard? Like the rock one? The right here, what's his name? Kush
Uh,
Kush.
couldn't
Hard. It's
could,
hard.
could couldn't even tell you.
Yeah, exactly. I don't speak
Couldn't even tell you.
Japanese. Grow up. I don't
So
speak the language.
girl.
Grow up and like get
Damn.
over it. You know?
Yeah, but Maeve though, because like I get it for like a tough Japanese name, nigga. Maeve, you grow up. It's fucking like it's one one syllable. Maeve, it's one word. The fuck? Get your head
Mobs
out of
just
your
sound
ass.
classier.
Oh,
Mobs just be classy.
I'm
You
gonna
know what
start
I'm
calling you
saying?
Frunky. I'm gonna start calling
Funky.
you Frunky.
I don't know Midoriya. I for a long time I did not know his name was Midoriya. I was calling him just Deku. Um
Yeah, I thought it was
that-
Deku too.
that's his like but Midoriya is his like
Nickname.
actual name. Yeah. Just like I found out
Okay, cool.
Tanjiro, if you watch Demon Slayer, Tanjiro's his first
Yeah.
name, which is uncommon. So they be calling him by his last name. I'm like, who is that?
Oh yeah,
Like I
yeah,
feel
yeah,
like they
yeah.
just started doing that this season.
Yeah,
Um
they be calling him Kamado, Kamado Tanjiro.
yeah, I was like, who the fuck is Kamado? Like every time they bring it up, I'm like, I gotta do a demon. I gotta start reviewing anime because anime is so good.
Yeah,
There's
me
Demon
too.
Slayers, and I was
Me
watching Kaiju
too.
number 8. Y'all, I'm gonna make a video this weekend. I promise y'all. Kaiju number 8
You ever seen
is
Bleach?
yeah.
I was
Bleach
just
is
watching the
okay.
Thousand Year Blood War, and that shit was so
I did
goaded.
hear
Oh
Blood
my,
War was good. Bleach lost me
so
in the
goaded.
2 years of filler they had. They lost a
I
soldier.
heard you. They
That's a
lost the
soldier.
soul.
That's a soldier
I
they
heard you.
lost. I was in. I was in. I was locked in. They did the Soul
I heard you.
Society. I was locked in. I said, "Ooh, conspiracy." Num num.
I heard you.
Somewhere
I
around them
heard you.
filming that reality show, I said, "There are
But
other
it's
things I
all
could
out.
do in my time."
You could just skip it though. You feel me? Because why are you using that as an excuse? You could just skip. Like you have the ability to. Oop, next episode. Oop,
You
next
said, "Ooh,
episode. Like you don't gotta.
I
No,
miss
you
so
don't gotta.
much. I miss so much at this point." It's like Doctor
You know,
Who.
you gotta.
People be like, "When are you going to start Doctor Who?" I'm like, 30 years? I'm gone. I
Have
missed
you
it.
never seen it?
Never.
Oh, damn. That doesn't make any sense because you seem like you would have been the biggest Doctor Who dork. Like a
Maybe.
real
Yo, sometimes there is stuff, and that's why I watch Lord of the Rings. Cause I was like, there's a
no.
lore that I'm missing out of that I feel like I would enjoy.
Yeah.
And I did. That shit was fire. The books though, y'all capped. Fellowship of the Ring is too much information. There was a whole paragraph once on a log
Yes.
describing the
Yes.
log.
They be doing the most. Yes, he
It's
does
too
I've
much.
never read those
He
books.
Fellowship of the Ring is too long. It's too many. And I get it. Like I think he should have done something separate. Like did the story of Fellowship of the Ring and then all of those details, he should have did a supplement book of like the world of the Fellowship of the Ring. Does that make sense?
Yeah, didn't he do that with he doesn't he have a
Similion.
supplement book? No,
So, so
Silmarillion, yeah, that
that
tough
one.
ass book to watch to read. I
That
could
shit is
not
hard to
get through
read.
it.
That shit is hard to
I
read.
could
But
not get through.
it's supplementary and it's after, so most people don't read it. But the ones who do,
Yeah,
now they got TikToks and YouTube.
yeah,
Oh, last thing. Huey basically watched a TikTok video and was immediately killing people because that's what Kimiko did. She gave him a 1 minute
oh, man,
tutorial and he
I
cooked.
forgot about
He
that
cooked from
scene.
there. He cooked from there. She
He
said,
used the
listen,
same
okay.
technique,
Boom, 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 boom. That's it. And he
and
said, that be
and he
me.
did it.
That be me. I
You
watch
feel me?
one YouTube. And I'd be like, I'm an expert. And
And
he
he did
was
it. He mastered it. That's like watching Addison Rae in Prime 2020 do that little dance and then immediately just getting straight
cooking it.
to it, putting
Mm.
send the camera up and just perfecting it. Because he had the wrist, he did the shield, and then he did the. Did you see how he looked when he did the throat? Like that shit was that was tough
He
as
liked
fuck.
it a
He
little
wasn't
bit.
even like he enjoyed that shit. He
He
was
liked
locked
it.
in. He was feeling it. Blood all in his face. He happy as hell. I can't
He
trust him.
liked it.
I can't trust him.
So, what would you rate this episode? 1 to 5.
We doing we're doing Frenchies.
Destructo Jugos. Jugos juices.
Jugo.
The
Ew.
juice.
Oh, Jugo juice. All right, let's see. How juicy was it? No, fuck no. We sticking to Frankie Flames until I can figure something else out. Um, how many Frankie Flames I'm giving this episode? Jeez. And this is the thing, for what Anthony Starr did with Homelander alone, this episode sits at a pretty 4.5.
I agree.
That
I agree. I agree. I do agree with your
that's it.
shortcomings too, with your like there's a lot that I miss from the old boys, but at the end of the
Yeah,
day, this thing is just so entertaining. I'll put it back on and why like I was just talking
yeah.
to someone about like I love House of the Dragon, but it's not that first episode wasn't as entertaining. Was it as good?
Entertaining.
Obviously, like
Yeah, it was a great
cinematically,
episode.
that fucking
Yeah,
Melee's coming into that driveway, the dragon driveway, like
yeah,
all that was
yeah.
ill.
It hits.
But like I saw it twice. I didn't feel the same as like when I watched The Boys twice and I was like on the edge of my seat. And I think there's or interview, man, you gotta lock in the interview with the vampire because they getting
That's my
wild.
next. That's my next jam. That's
I
my
can't
next jam.
wait. And you're gonna be so tight. You know why? Because you're gonna by the time you watch it, we're gonna stop talking about it. And you're gonna be like,
I know.
dang, I wish I was a part of this culture. Cause as you see, we having the time of our lives. The time people people be in my live. That thing drop at 9 p.m. 9:30. They be in my comments of my old shit. They be like, oh,
I heard it's
Frankie,
actually
where's
one of the
that
best shows on
review?
TV right now.
It's
Yeah.
even to me, and I'm gonna say it. It's better written right now than House of the Dragon. The characters, the way that they act, the experience is better. Now, is the CGI better? No. But like seeing the characters and their development is a perfect through line. You
Mm,
are wrapped up in the story where you are experiencing and doing the things that the character is, right? Like you fall in love
mm,
with the abuser and just like the character you want to bring the abuser back in, right? So it's like
mm,
you feel empathy
mm,
towards every character including the antagonist because they're so well thought
mm,
out. There are so many times in
mm.
House of the Dragon I'm like what is happening
Yeah.
here?
Yeah. Where their
Why
decisions
is
don't make sense.
Allison in doing this when last
Yeah.
time she
I
did
agree.
this? You
I
get what I'm
agree.
saying? Like there's a lot of
Yeah.
shortcomings when it comes to the actual characters and their choices. And
Yeah.
these characters are flawed, but you get it. You're like, I would do that too, or I understand why they did
Mm,
that. And I think that's it.
yeah. I
The
best villain
pilot
prime
is
decade.
perfect. Yo, Mike, I was live tweeting Mike when I watched the pilot, and I know he was just, I could read through the tweets how smug he was. I could just read through the tweets. His responses was
Nah.
like, you'll
Yeah, I
see.
told you, nigga.
Is that your final answer? Is that how you feel about this character? And what does that make you think?
Oh, that's how he was chatting. That's
And
how he was chatting.
it'll make you chat that way.
Okay.
Please.
You
The
know
season,
what? I'm on
you
there
got
tonight.
time.
I'm on there
Season
tonight.
one, please watch. I'll watch it with you. I'll throw
I'm
that bad boy on right
episode one
now.
tonight. Episode one
Bad
tonight.
Money.
I'm putting on everything.
All
I'm
right.
putting on everything.
So
Every
y'all
little
heard
one
it here,
tonight.
chat. We about to hop off. I'm gonna watch it right now. You better put it on right now. I want real tweets.
I'm headed
Mike,
straight
you
over
can
there.
throw it on right now. It's on Prime Video. That's perfect since we
I'm
talking about a Prime show.
Yeah, I'll bet,
But
bet.
anyway,
I'm in there.
let everybody know where they can find you.
How many people are here? I can't tell.
So it's 32 people plus 42 people across channels.
Nice, real nice. Your numbers are real good. Thanks for watching, everybody. You can find me on the corner of 85th and Douglas. I got fentanyl for sale.
Lit.
Or if if you need, is 85th and Douglas a real street? Because I feel like it's a real street.
Oh, you're talking about in New York?
Yeah,
No,
right.
you were close.
Damn,
There's no
damn.
Douglas Street in Manhattan. There's a Douglas. There's a what's this called Douglas? What's that?
Mm-hmm.
Civil rights
Yeah,
leader's Douglas name, but
yeah.
it's
See,
not
I
on
knew it.
85th. But
I
it's not
knew it.
on
I knew it.
85th. It doesn't cross with 85th. So
You see
you're
what I did
incorrect.
there? That's
What?
that autistic shit because I knew you would have a fucking encyclopedic knowledge of every street in Manhattan. And so I was just, I was testing that. That's that. You feel me? That's that. That's that autism. That's that.
Oh my gosh. You know, everybody call it acoustic now. So like sometimes I'll send a text and people be like, these acoustic texts
These acoustics.
are hard, are hard. I'll
I'm not gonna
answer. I'd be
lie.
like, why would you do that? They'd be like, Frankie,
Acoustics sound like a slur. I'm not even going to.
it does
It
kind of,
sounds like
right?
a hard
What can
R.
you do? What can you
But nah,
do?
you guys can find me at Destructo Jugo on TikTok. That's where I spend most of my days, chilling out, maxing, relaxing. You can also find me on Destructo Jugo on Instagram and Destructo Jugo on YouTube. Actually, please subscribe to the YouTube. Also, the Twitch. I'm trying to play games. If you guys subscribe on Twitch, I appreciate it. Yeah, that's all I had to say.
All right. And you guys are on my channel, so you do know where to find me. But what you don't be doing is joining my Discord. Stop
Discord.
playing. My Discord is
Join the
so
Discord.
lit, y'all. We be having the
Yes,
time of our lives. Y'all don't hear
the
me.
Discord lit.
Okay.
The Discord
The
lit. I can
Discord is
confirm.
honestly, and we be talking shit. Like it's not like all sweet, blah, 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 blah. It be like
Yeah,
we actually debate and challenge each other, but we're
yeah,
respectful. There's no crazy people in there. And if they were, we getting them out of there. It's nothing but
good
support,
vibes.
love, and shit talking. One of the best vibes. Like people, someone was saying in the Discord, people normally have to pay for this type of Discord. So, but there is a subscription if you want to join. We have a comic book club.
Yeah.
But yes. I'm gonna see you
Okay.
guys all later, including you, Ate. Please prove Michael wrong. He said you
He
lying. You ain't
lying.
even started Baldur's Gate 3.
Listen,
I got
I need
500
somebody to
hours
play
clocked in
with.
there.
Is
No,
it
you
not a
don't.
co-op game?
No, you could play.
I,
It's actually better to me. It's better by
I'm not.
yourself because you can explore the story of all the companions. When you play with
Okay.
someone else, um they take in the place of a companion. Yeah, it's crazy
Uh,
up in that Discord. We be getting
yeah,
wild, respectfully, in that Discord.
yeah,
The
y'all
meme
get
channel
active.
alone is crazy. Um, but yeah, pull
All
up.
right.
You better. I better see you tweeting me in the next 20 minutes.
I'm in there.
Mike
I'm
too.
in there.
Do
I'm
it in
in
the
there.
group chat. Put it in the group chat so we know
Oh,
it's real.
hold on. I'm locked in to
Right now,
Empire.
I'm about to start cleaning up. So I got you. But yes, thank you guys all for joining. And
All right.
I'm gonna see y'all later.
All right.